Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Right, so I know I'm a bit late for with the personal details, but yeah, I'm not really keeping that well, as you can make it out from my voice itself. But anywho, it is what it is. So without wasting much of your time, right, so let's go ahead and see what CM Fragment has in store for us in terms of the personal details. So it says, this is CM Fragment of Marvel Future Fight. Agents, are you ready to join the magnificent, right, Karaoke party held in the honor of newest X-Men? Here are the new uniforms for Psylocke, Mr. Sinister, and Colossus, the God Colossus, right? So the patch is going to be applied in waves, right? So yeah, so there is no huge maintenance time or anything like that. So that's done. So that's really good. So the theme of the update is going to be HELLFIRE GALA, right? The first uniform is Captain Britain for Betsy, right? Aka Psylocke. Second one is Mr. Sinister, and last but not the least is the HELLFIRE GALA Colossus, and boy, he looks dope. But anyways, that being something else, right? Let's come to the patch notes, right? So all the uniforms as usual, all the new uniforms, and I believe the optional uniforms will be at 40% discounted rates. So the first uniform, right, that we can see over here is our girl Betsy, aka Captain Britain, right? Quite an interesting look. I'm not really a big fan of this particular look with all the roses and whatnot around the head, right? So let's see the uniform bonus, right? So yeah, so instead of 20% of increase to max HP, now she has much 30% increase, right? And apart from that, previously she had a 30% chance to penetrate with mind immunity effect. However, now instead of that, she has a 40% ignore target dodge rate, which is actually very good. And apart from that, she has a skill damage and bonus damage of 15%. It is really less, right? 15%, but previously she didn't had, right? So I'd say it's actually quite good, right? And yeah, and so her passives have also changed a lot, right? So previously on her 4-star passive, right, she just had mind resist of 30% and immunity to mind control effect. However, now she has a increased mind resist, same thing, 30%, right? Immunity to mind control, but on addition to that, she has guard break immunity, so which is very good. So yeah, you may not need to give a mighty city of destruction to Psylocke, right? We can definitely work with a CTP of judgment, because I assume she still deals mind damage on her skills, right? And now it comes to her tier 2 passive. Previously a tier 2 passive was like simply some kind of penetration, 100% chance to penetrate, right? Like almost everything for 5 seconds. And she also used to increase mind damage by 35% for 5 seconds, right? Whenever her skill butterfly phantasm was used, okay, which is her 5th skill, right? So do keep that in mind. So yeah, so now she has like the it's not relevant to butterfly phantasm, but instead it's just a flat 35% boost to her mind damage, which will be always active. And she's getting critical damage bonus of up to 30% and guaranteed critical rate of 30%, which I believe is far better than what she previously had. But previously it was much more centric toward PvP, but it now seems that she's much more focused towards PvE, right? And she has a 3 active skill changes, right? Her 3rd skill, right, previously it was a charge up skill, but now it is not, right? So what it does is that, yeah, that's great. And you can also use this skill, or rather move around with this skill with a V-patch, so that's really good. So she still has that mind resistance up to 100%, so which is good. They have added a 16% of max HP recovery, which I would say is excellent, right? And they have increased the all attack by from 20% to 30%, right? So which is again good. So some kind of frenzy buff. And her 4th skill, right, So yeah, previously it had some mind resistance down which ignored immunity, and that's it. It's still almost the same, just they have added the at all attack of 35%, which is a subtle change, I would say, right? However, boys, do keep that in mind, right? We were talking about the uniform bonus, right? Because previously on her fifth skill, right, on top of whenever she used the fifth skill, she had this 35% of the mind damage as a part of her tier 2 passive, but the fifth skill itself used to give 35% of mind damage increase for 6 seconds at a cooldown of 13 seconds, right? So as you can see that mind damage is no more. She has lost it. However, in place of that, they have added charm to it, right? So yeah, definitely it will help her to heal further, but only in World Boss Ultimate, right? Yeah, it's absolutely garbage in World Boss Legends, so meh. However, instead of the mind damage increase, right, so they have given a basic damage boost of up to 60%. So it's a damage for one attack. So we have to see how it plays out. She seems interesting, definitely, right? Right. So next on the list is, and the most important thing, is she a hero? Yes, she is still a superhero, right? So the next on the list is our boy, right? Mr. Sinister. So yeah, the uniform effect is increased guaranteed dodge rate by 35%, ignores target dodge rate by 30%, which is excellent. And again, he's also getting a guard break immunity, so which is fantastic, right? So let's go ahead and check out his tier 1 passive, right? So yeah, previously it was like whenever his HP was below 50%, right, he used to heal 100% of his max HP and remove all debuff for 2 seconds, right? However, now it's still the same 100% of max HP recovery, but the all debuff duration time has increased from 2 seconds to 10 seconds, and the cooldown of the skill was previously 140 seconds, but now it has dropped down to 90 seconds, which I'd say is actually quite good, right? I'm not really a huge fan of his second passive, right? Previously it used to increase all attack by 15%, right? And yeah, increase, it just boosts the summoned characters, that's it, right? Nothing much. And yeah, so he was actually a unique character. So yeah, first skill nothing much, right? Just summons illusion. Second skill does has silence and mind control, so yeah, he can definitely be used in the silence season, but I don't think he is going to replace Mephisto. No way, right? And his third skill has stun for 3 seconds, increase and all attack by 70%. So yeah, so it sounds quite similar. It's exactly the same as it was in his base kit, but maybe the animation has changed to some extent. His fourth skill now has paralysis, right? Previously he didn't had paralysis, he had bind, and now he also has incapacitation, so means removes active buff from the target. Apart from that, he also has now a new frenzy buff on his fourth skill, even though it's not much, just 20% of all attack on all defense and some critical rate and all speed, right? So yeah, so that's a good addition, but it could have been more like 40% of all attack, all defense. Why not, right? And he does get immunity to all damage, but it's only for 3 seconds at a cooldown of 7 seconds if you have max skill cooldown. And his fifth skill has invincibility, right, for 3 seconds. So I don't know, right? Previously he had invincible on his fourth skill, which lasted for 5 seconds, right, at a cooldown of 8 seconds. But now he has 3 seconds of immunity to all damage with cooldown of 7 seconds. So yeah, his fifth skill has now invincibility, right? And right, for only 3 seconds at a cooldown of 7.5 seconds. So he has got a really short invincibility and immunity to all damage, right? So yeah, so just 3 seconds, not even 5 seconds in any of these skills, and he has quite some long ass cooldown, boys. So yeah, I don't know how I really feel about that. And so far in both the uniforms, right, we haven't really seen any kind of accumulation, right, whatsoever, right? Yeah, this is really going to be interesting, right? So let's move to God Colossus, right? So previously he already had these things, right? So the decreased basic damage received on his previous uniform was 30%. It got a bump by 5%, but on top of that he also received a decreased physical damage received by 40%. So that's nice. All right, and now comes the bread and butter. Let's see if anything really changed, right? I hope so. So yeah, so previously decreased damage received from reflect effect by 60%, his tier 2 passive, right? But I mean his tier 1 passive, but now it has bumped by 5%. And oh god, decreased basic damage received from superhero and supervillain still remains 50%. Means at least they could have increased it, or rather bumped it by to 10%, right? So could have been 60%, but nah, not really. He's super impressed with this boss, not really impressed. And yeah, so previously for his tier 2 passive, super armor increase all basic defense was 15%. Now it's bumped by another 15%, so it's 30%, right? So and basically rest remains the same. First skill, 100% chance to penetrate everything, but just for 1 second at a cooldown of 4 seconds. So yeah, whatever. So it was same previously as well, right? It was same previously. The only thing that they have added is paralysis, right? Yeah, and his active skill, right, had an all defense down. His number 2 skill, so it's still there, but they have added fracture. Yeah, and from the third skill they have removed surprisingly they have removed his accumulation based on damage taken, but instead they have added paralysis, right? So yeah, and on his fourth skill has again, means this guy has loaded with paralysis, guys. So stun, fear, fracture, paralysis, right? And 100% chance to penetrate almost everything, but again for 2 seconds with a long ass cooldown of 9 seconds if you have max skill cooldown. And in fact previously the fourth skill cooldown was only 10 seconds, but now it's 18 seconds. Wow, that's long. So they have actually increased the cooldown. And his fifth skill is exactly remains the same, the accumulation on damage dealt, it was always there. So it's, however, it's only 0.5% as it used to be. So to be honest, after looking at all these three uniforms, right, I'm not really impressed, right? Like, come on, there is nothing meta breaking. I'm not sure how I feel about this uniform, but anyways, let's dive into their awakening skill, right? So it's just a basic blah blah blah, burn damage, bleed damage, right? You know, the 35% critical rate, critical damage. However, Psylocke does have accumulation based on the damage she deals, but it's only 0.8%. So we have to see how she plays out. But for Colossus and Mr. Sinister, right, there is no accumulation on their awakened skill, right? So, however, Mr. Sinister does have a damage buff of 50%, and so does Colossus. Nothing really much. Yeah, man. These are just lazy transcendent skill. That's all I can say, right? And yeah, you can just have a glimpse of how their transcendent skill is going to look and play out. So yeah, nothing really much. And as usual with any kind of upgrade to any character, right, they also get their artifacts. So Psylocke seems to have getting the short end of the stick, right, in this particular update in terms of her artifacts. So it's just 80% chance to increase basic critical damage by 35% on critical attacks, which is kind of absolutely meh. For Mr. Sinister, right, it's when HP is below 5% immunity to guard break he has. Wow, I believe he already had it as his uniform passive, but whatever. And he gets the null, Wolverine, and Hela treatment. They are just making this passive like more and more common, right? Meh. And for Colossus, he is getting the Hymidal treatment when 50% rate when hit recovers 10% of max HP, but with a cooldown of only 5 seconds, right? So do keep it in mind, this 10% is for a 6-star artifact, right? So I'm not sure for a 3-star, 4-star how much you will be able to heal, right? So yeah, it's good to have a heal, but I don't know, man. I don't know, right? So yeah, and apart from that, they have fixed a couple of other things, right? So I don't know, nothing really quite exciting or meta game breaking, right? I don't know. So you guys do let me know, right, how you feel about this upcoming patch. However, I do think that Shiroxy is already very strong, right? So I believe that she is going to really shine in this particular update, even though her uniform may not sound game breaking at this point of time, at least on theory. However, we will know how good she is practically tomorrow. So that being said, boys and girls, do let me know how do you guys feel about this upcoming patch or this upcoming update with this Hellfire Gala update, and do leave a comment down below and do leave a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and have fun. Bye bye.